According to the doc,
He said that was their response to him. Like, listen,
these are battle rappers. This is hip hop. This is rap. This is what every artist before you that had that crown did. We could go through Tupac. He did the same thing. We could go through Pusha T. We could go through Jay-Z. We could go through Ice Cube. We could go through, of course, Kendrick. We could go through Nas. We could go through 50 Cent,
Jay-Z,
Cameron. So
Prodigy.
many Common, Prodigy,
50 Cent,
Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj,
nobody
Nori,
has ever
Eazy-E. Like,
nobody in the history of losing a rap battle has reacted with more whole-like antics than Aubrey Graham.
but it's a rap battle. Like, you win, you lose. You can't lose and then say, I lost and it's not fair what you said. Do you go back and listen to some of these diss records and how disrespectful they were?
Yeah,
like,
and listen, don't get me wrong.
Drake is a living, breathing example of everything Friedrich Nietzsche spent his entire life warning humanity about. Friedrich Nietzsche was a 19th century German philosopher who was fascinated by one very specific type of person, a person he called the man of ressentiment.
Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And when you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
Nietzsche wrote that this person's soul squints. His spirit loves hidden crannies, tortuous paths, and back doors. He is never direct. He is never honest with himself. He would rather go around than through. He would rather file a lawsuit than drop a diss track. He would rather post a birthday photo of a woman who has moved on than actually move on. Take a moment with that. Fam, before we start, like and subscribe so the algorithm stops being soft. Unlike some people we're going to discuss today, some people see Drake as one of the greatest musical minds of his generation. A kid from Degrassi who turned vulnerability into dominance, who made it acceptable for rappers to cry, who put Toronto on the map and stayed there for 15 years. And all of that is true. Others say he is soft, obsessive, litigious, and past his peak. And honestly, a lot of that is also true. But I see something way darker than either of those takes. I see the exact psychological pattern that a dead philosopher diagnosed over 100 years ago, fully realized, fully optimized, and playing out in real time in front of millions of people. This is not about hating Drake. This is about understanding what Drake represents and why Nietzsche would have recognized him immediately. Let us start where Drake's ressentiment started, at least publicly. Drake and Rihanna have a history that dates back to 2005. They had something. They have always had something, or at least Drake has always had something. And I need you to understand the timeline of how this has played out because it is genuinely one of the most documented cases of a man refusing to close a wound in the history of pop culture. He referenced her on his very first major album in 2010. He referenced her on Nothing Was the Same in 2013. He referenced her on Views in 2016. He referenced her on For All the Dogs in 2023. 18 years into his career on one of his biggest albums, Drake was still writing songs about a woman who has 2 children with a different man and has described their relationship to Vogue as not a friendship. Nietzsche would lean forward in his chair here because this is not love. Love moves. This is ressentiment. This is the wound that does not heal because the person holding it will not let it. Then the social media behavior. Drake unfollowed Rihanna on Instagram in 2018 after she told Vogue they did not have a friendship. Then refollowed her in April 2020. She did not follow back. He unfollowed her again when she showed up to the Met Gala with ASAP Rocky. Followed, unfollowed, refollowed. This is a man with the most followers on Instagram spending his free time monitoring the follow button of his ex-girlfriend's account. In January 2025, Rihanna posted a photo of herself on Instagram. The caption was one sentence. "It's not even my birthday." The internet read that as shade at Drake, who had a habit of posting throwback birthday content about her across their entire situationship. Not because she confirmed it, just because the timing was exactly right and everybody already knew. And then ASAP Rocky, the man who is actually with her, the man who has her children, sat down with Billboard in January 2026 and addressed Drake directly. The man Rihanna chose called Drake soft on record in Billboard for still talking about her.
I thought old boy was my mans, you know what I'm saying? I thought he was my dude. Drake. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I first met him and it was just like, he seemed embraceful and shit and all that. Like, you know what I mean? We went on tour with him.
Y'all did music together, some great songs.
Yeah, right? And it's just like, I don't know, like I think when I got with my girl, he just started throwing shots out of nowhere. Like I just woke up and just felt like he was just throwing subs and shit. And then
This is what Nietzsche meant. The man of ressentiment cannot forget. That is the whole mechanism. He does not have the will to move forward, so he keeps returning to the moment of rejection, replaying it, rewriting it, putting it in songs, putting it in diss tracks, monitoring Instagram follow buttons at 2 in the morning. He turns his wound into his identity, and then he calls it being a lover. Certified lover boy. The logo should have been a man refreshing an Instagram profile. In April 2024, Drake and Kendrick Lamar began releasing diss tracks. Both of them. Back and forth. One of the most anticipated rap battles in 20 years. This is where it gets philosophical. Drake released a track called Tailor-Made Freestyle. In it, using AI-generated voices of Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg, he taunted Kendrick. And in his own voice, he specifically invited Kendrick to talk about him liking young girls on his next track. His exact words, he invited it. He said it. He put it in a song. Kendrick released Not Like Us. Not Like Us became the #1 song of 2024. It won 5 Grammys. It was performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. It was performed in front of 133.5 million viewers. It contained the line Drake had specifically asked for, and Drake's response was to file a lawsuit, not against Kendrick, against his own record label, Universal Music Group, the same company that signs his checks. He sued the entity he shares with Kendrick, not the man who made the song. This is what Nietzsche meant. His spirit loves hidden crannies, tortuous paths, and back doors. Drake will not walk through the front door. He cannot. The front door would require him to acknowledge what happened directly and respond directly. Instead, he found a back door, a side entrance, his own label, in a court document, available for public record, said Drake lost a rap battle he provoked. The lawsuit was dismissed in October 2025. Drake appealed. His label responded in April 2026, calling his argument astoundingly hypocritical. Nietzsche also wrote this, and I need you to hear it in the context of a man who in tailor-made freestyle encouraged Kendrick to rap about him liking young girls, then sued when Kendrick did exactly that. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he does not become a monster. Drake built his case against Kendrick on the idea that Kendrick was a domestic abuser. Kendrick built his case against Drake on the idea that Drake had inappropriate relationships with young women. Both were trying to become the monster they were fighting, and one of them got the Grammy. The other one got the lawsuit dismissed. Logic has officially left the chat. Nietzsche wrote, "The most common lie is that which one lies to himself. Lying to others is relatively an exception." After Not Like Us performed at the Super Bowl in February 2025, after the song won 5 Grammys, after a New Yorker article opened with the line, "Has there ever been as clear a loser as Drake?" after NPR headlined almost a year after the battle Kendrick Lamar has won the war, Drake released a collaborative album with Party Next Door on Valentine's Day. It was called Some Sexy Songs for You. The standout track was called Crying in Chanel. He named a song Crying in Chanel after a beef in which the internet called him the birthday girl. The song is about a relationship falling apart and feeling misunderstood. He released it 2 weeks after Kendrick performed Not Like Us to the biggest Super Bowl audience in history.
And all Drake fans can do at this point is seethe and cope and sit there obediently as he shovels trash like this down their throats. Which, you know, honestly is like the closest I have come to genuinely feeling bad for Drake fans in a minute. But yeah, I don't want to hear this song ever again for the rest of my life.
This is the self-deception Nietzsche warned about. Drake genuinely seems to believe that releasing an R&B song about crying in designer clothes is a comeback, that a track called Crying in Chanel is a flex, that the man who just got the most embarrassing public defeat in modern hip-hop history should respond by leaning into everything that made it embarrassing. He is not lying to you, he is lying to himself, and it is so complete, so total, that he cannot even see it. There is also the stage crying. Drake, during his Laugh Now Cry Later concert, broke down mid-performance, on stage, in front of a crowd. The video went viral on TikTok with 37,000 likes, and the caption, and I want you to read this, "Laugh Now Cry Later." There is the sparring footage. Circulating videos of Drake training showed what the internet described as throwing literal pillows. The same Drake who spent years in rap battles getting called soft now had video evidence that was being used to win the argument. There is the gambling. Drake lost over $850,000 betting on boxing matches. Not in one night, as a pattern. A man with more money than most countries has repeatedly lost hundreds of thousands of dollars betting on fights he is not in. This is what Nietzsche meant by the last man. The philosopher wrote that the last man is the person who gave up on becoming great and settled for being comfortable. The last man blinks and says, "We invented happiness," and thinks that is enough.
In the whole world, look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before.
Drake had everything the culture could give him, and then he became the birthday girl, and his response was crying in Chanel. Drake is not a villain. He fought the monster. And in the process, he became one. Not a dangerous monster, not a scary monster. The specific kind of monster Nietzsche was most worried about. The kind that does not know it is a monster. The kind that files a lawsuit and calls it winning. The kind that names a song Crying in Chanel and calls it a comeback. The kind that posts about a woman who has moved on for 18 years and calls it love. If this video made you think differently about what Drake represents, drop a comment. Tell me which exhibit hit different for you. Like the video. Subscribe if you have not already. I will see you in the next one. Peace.